I'm red. What's up? I'm red, y'all. I'm red. Um, I'm red. I've been doing this practice since 2022. Since who knows when I'm if I'm ever gonna post this video. But I know I'll cut the audio for this, but I'm gonna go ahead and document. So I was in a relationship. I'd gone through the loss of a parent the year prior, and things were not the best, but they were better. But I had a lot of people in my ear, and including that relationship, and I hadn't pulled out my cards in a while, and I pulled out my cards and decided to tune in to myself and the power that comes with being a woman and her cycle. It's a magical thing. It's a sacred thing. Should be cherished. It should be cherished more. So during that time, I had a lot of other opinions in my head, and I really didn't know which ways to go or who to trust. And there's levels to that, but so I went to my cards, and I decided to not just go and ask a question about my specific life issues, because I've gotten caught in the whirlwind of doing those. Kind of being a little too much. What would happen if I did this? What would happen if I did that? You know, that kind of shit. So, I decided to ask and try to create a habit ritual out of drawing cards when I start my cycle, and ask for the wisdom that I need to know to help me move forward doing this current cycle, what's going on, 28 days. So that's what I did. What ended up happening is I end up finding this 3-card spread. What will help me? What will hinder me? And what is some underlying assistance that will help me during whatever the question is? So my question is always, what will help me during this period cycle? What will hinder me during this period cycle? And what is some underlying assistance that I can count on that I might not be aware of? Kind of like a blind spot of help that I can tap into during this cycle. Sometimes I put some clarifying, because sometimes I have a particular focus that I might be working on. So I'll ask, for my goals, for my highest timeline, some qualifiers that I'll put that space in there. So yeah, it really helped, because I no longer was caught up into how my actions would affect other people. I started to focus on how are my actions affecting me, first and foremost. And being into tap into a guidance for 28 days that is specifically tied into my body, my connection to spirit, this divine sacred act that I'm able to live out, being a bleeding woman, being a bleeding person, and this wild magic of biology design that, you know, the debate of who, what, when, them, how we get here, all that stuff, you know, that's a whole nother stuff. But the bare bones is I am flesh. My body is miraculous in how it keeps me here. And this vessel, I honor it. And I honor the sacredness of the mystery of existence that I am in with all of this world. And the humans and the animals and the beings, everybody that's in this universe of ours. So with all of that is like, I'm feeling in the interdependence of the energy of everybody around me. I have to filter through all of that because I personally am a sponge. It's been some lessons. Personally, I'm a sponge. So filtering through all of that stuff on the outside to really hear my own voice has been one of my life's work because being able to tap into the wisdom of my sacred divine self in connection with my co-creating with the divine in my life. I use my cards to give me to open that communication with myself and the divine, because it's always a co-creation. It is always a co-creation in my book to help me co-create beyond my conscious limitations. So I'm a rambler. Red's a rambler. Red is a rambler sometimes. Sometimes I don't say shit. Okay. But yeah, so all of that to be said, my period started a couple of days ago. And I didn't realize. Now, here's a note. My period started a couple of days ago. But my period stopped 2 weeks ago. Like, I had a whole period 2 weeks ago. And now my period starts now. It doesn't happen often, but my period does this. It has started doing this a little bit more in the perimenopause world. But note, it is starting today, actually, a total lunar eclipse in Pisces, and I have a stellium in Pisces. So when I woke up the other day and I was bleeding, I was like, okay, so I always note when my period does something different, because there's a lot of different reasons biologically that can happen, but I also look at my own self spiritually and energetically, what I'm doing in my life from the inside out. And so when my period starts to shift, I know I'm shifting, and I also note where the moon is. So my period starting again a couple of days before the total lunar eclipse in Pisces, where I have a stellium. It's my only stellium in my chart. It's my Pisces stellium. And what I'm doing internally from the inside out to change, to be fucking honest, to fucking change, to grow beyond my conscious limitations, my fears, my fears of being seen, my fears of being wrong, all of these things, taking these leaps of faith into myself and being able to say it proudly. Leaps of faith into myself and being able to say it proudly. So, Red here, and I'm sharing with you a process that has helped me more than words can say. So, clearing the deck. Clearing the deck, clearing the deck, clearing the deck, clearing the deck. This current blood cycle, what will help me, what will hinder me, what is the blind spot, what is some underlying assistance that I'm not aware of, but we'll tap into, that will also help along this path for these 28 days, the inner wisdom from my womb, from my blood, from my divine self and my connection to the all. Thank you, I say. Amen. My question. What will help me? What will hinder me? My assistance, my blind spot assistance. Okay. Woo! Okay, I know what this is for me. I'm going to share this eventually, but I know exactly what this is. And yeah, love on the brain. Yeah, red. Yeah, red. All right. What will help me? This is Radha Mambo. We'll get into this. Oh, these are all court cards. Okay. What will hinder me? Mambo Petro. Reversed. Mambo Petro. Mambo. And what is underlying assistance, blind, that I may be blind to? This is what will help me in reverse. Hounces Congo. Hounces Congo. Now I'm gonna read these. But from the book. But I do have an understanding that I know of for the cards. So what will help me? She has Ayahuasca on her head, the goddess serpent. She's in alignment with her Kundalini spirit, and she's cutting the head. I would say this is her old head. So what will help me is to sever my old thinking. Let's go ahead and go forth, red. Let's slice it, girl. Go ahead and move forward. Go ahead and move forward. What will hinder me? Mambo Petro. And this is upside down. This is the reverse. So right side up, I guess, in the space of, what this energy is. She is straddling the snake. She is strangling the anaconda. The anaconda. It is very sexual, sensual. Very specifically sexual, sensual, very fire, very passionate, very woman on top. and the anaconda is very happy. Everything is consensual. This being in the reverse would be, do not tap into that energy type of space, right? In the space of this energy is a little too much, we need to tone it down, da da da. But this being in the reverse, in my this will hinder me, is basically saying, do not shrink this energy within myself. Do not shrink this mambo petro energy in myself. It will hinder me. I need to allow it to breathe. It needs to breathe. And I'm sharing this because this might be a space where this card reading is for me. And at the same time, this can connect to anyone else that this might come in the algorithm. And the lovely divinity of, in the, what is it? The divinity of the algorithm. Because I've always said, even as a kid, the chair may be an inanimate object, not, made of plastic, but it's an existence. It exists. So who's to say it doesn't have some type of awareness of its existence? Just because we don't have a language for it and don't move. And then from me taking that little spot of like, does a chair have feelings? Does it feel hard if I sit on it? Because I'm a little weird kid. Going to me as an adult and being tapped into my own spiritual space. There is divinity in anything that exists. It exists. Matter has an atom. And in between the atom is a space. And that's where God is. That is where the divine is, the space between atoms. So if it exists, that space of existence of the divine is in it. And me interacting with it is there. So this is a whole nother thing. But, so, I shall not quench. We shall not. Hello, fans. Hello, community. Hello, friends. We shall not diminish during this cycle. We should not diminish our sensuality, our sexuality during this cycle. And that's not being unsafe, because I'm currently celibate. Actually, I'm reaching my 3rd year of celibacy. Well, there was this one moment. It wasn't sex though. But anyway, I did not have sex. There was some activity. Okay, so then does it reset it? I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna say I haven't had sex in 3 years. Anyway, so in my celibacy, this is just allowing myself actually to feel, because I've been very tight in that area. Even through masturbation, I've been tighter. I've been tight, and that's a whole historical thing that I think I'm working on. And that's a whole other thing. But this is a healing space. I should be able to be open to my own sensual sexuality during this time frame, because I'm cutting off old. This will help me. I'm cutting off old mindsets that has, in essence, caused me to shrink this. But I don't need to shrink this. We don't need to shrink this. We don't need to shrink this. We are cutting off the old mindsets. And one of those mindsets is shrinking our sensuality and our sexuality, our sacral center, our creativity, because this is also a lot of spice that creates life. Okay. This is so funny because I haven't read for anybody in a very, very long time. Years. Probably been over 20 years that I've pulled cards outside of doing them for myself. So we are in this together. This is my first time, and I'm sharing this card reading for myself. And those that connect to it, please holler at me in the comments. So this is my underlying assistance. My underlying assistance, what will help me? This is a blind spot that will help me. So in this card, this is the Hounces. So Mambo is the queen. She's in this deck. This is the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot. And we'll talk about this later. But the Mambo is like the queen of the suits. Congo is water. Petro, fire. Rada, air. There's not there. And then we also have the fourth element, which is actually from the Santeria Pantheon, and they use those. And we'll as these cards come up, we'll talk about it. Okay, so not Mambo. This is Hounces. Hounces, she is the princess. Okay, she's the princess. Hounces, Congo, princess of water. And the Hounces, so Mambo is the queen of the temple. She is the leader of the temple. I'll read about these too. Hounces is the initiate. She's in, and she's part of the initiate, and she works with the temple, and she helps clean, make sure the temple is straight. She has different works in the temple to assist the temple's needs, including the Mambo and the male counterpart. I can't remember the name right, but yeah, it's okay. So here, this card in the book talks about, there's a spirit. This is her. Actually, I don't really remember, because I feel like it has something to do with past loves, the energy of communing with the past love, not necessarily necromancy, but no, I'm not necessarily that, but like, you know, something's not with you in the physical, but you still commune with it. Even if it's a person that's 100% alive, you'll have an energetic connection. Okay? So here, being reversed, it's kind of like telling me that I should focus on what is physically here with me, more than I am looking at what is not with me. Okay? So let's read. Let's read these. This is so fun. Oh, there's like 30 minutes. Let me pause. Alright, so we're going to go with the card first. Rada. Mambo. Red is reading. What will help her? What will help us during this current blood cycle that started for me a couple of days ago? Alright. The temple cards. So I'm going to read this first. Well, no, we're not going to do all that. We'll just get into the reading. So, Mambo. The Mambos are the queens. I'm going to read this. I'm going to read this about the Mambo part of the court cards. Serpent, Queen, Cup. The voice of Marie Laveau speaks from many throats. Madame L was the Mambo supreme. In her dance with the spirits, she spoke with authority and power. She gave, and she took in correct measure, balancing benefit and obligation. Her mercies and her rages are of the stuff of history. From her throne on Congo Square to her ritual space on the Bayou St. John, her connaissance, connaissance was acknowledged and deferred to. She stands as a model or standard for the chief voodoo priestess of New Orleans. Within the sacred elemental dance of the Hanfour, the mambo is water. Water is that element that both levels mountains and cools the fevered mind. It is also the element used to call the loa. The drums, hungan cards, are also used to call the loa. But the water, or the water road, has a stability for the quick fading sound of the drum lacks. The drums, hungan cards. Okay. The drums, the hungan is the man, the male counterpart, the king, are also used to call the loa, but water, or the water road, has a stability that the quick fading sound of the drum lacks. The mambo works with the serpent in calling the loa. The serpent is associated with the wet, moist aspects of human experience. The serpent is sinuous, all hard muscle and grace. It slides over the ground or moves through the water. The serpent is wild. It cannot be trained, only worked with. It swallows its prey whole with its large cup-like mouth. The snake represents the union of male and female, which speaks to Aleister Crowley's vision of the queen, Mambo, carrying a fertilized egg within herself. In New Orleans voodoo, the priestess or mambo generally has strong enough contact with the loa to enter into the mental state necessary to draw power from the snakes. The priestess and the snake is a pairing of tremendous antiquity. Rose, a priestess committed to developing a deep intellectual and experiential understanding of the African mysteries, dances with very large and powerful snakes. Another priestess, Muslima Munpaki, wraps the snake around her forehead in order to gain close communion with the spirit and the snake contains. So this card is going to help me. Rada Mambo. Actually, yes, Rada is air. That is the air element. Mambo. Rada, air. The mambo of air is the watery part of air. Water thickens air and allows it to transmit larger amounts of both physical and astral information and power. Moist air carries sound and odors more efficiently over longer distances. It has been suggested that the strong affinity of New Orleans for the occult is due to its intimate association with the waters surrounding it. The rains and floods which inundate the city are extreme by any standard, and sizable sections of the city would be underwater if huge suction pumps were not working night and day. The watery nature of the air makes it better able to carry sound, smell, and occult impressions. Conversation with Budfinger, 1991. This card has a strong resonance with the city of New Orleans. Aizan is a fitting loa for such a personality. The aspect of this card is quite striking. A mambo dances whilst holding a severed male head aloft. Her other hand holds a sword, and a snake is wrapped around her head. The virtue of this card is the sure transmission of perceptions. This card allows for accurate appraisal of a situation at hand through the clarity of these perceptions. The severed head held by the mambo represents illusion or faulty perception. The sword has been used to isolate illusion and render it harmless. The snake is entwined around the mambo's head much in the manner of the tingong, scarf hat, tied in 7 points and worn by Marie Laveau. The serpent guards the purity and correctness of the mambo's perceptions. In voodoo, important spirits ride within the head. See number 5, Master of the Head. That is a major arcana. If these spirits have been corrupted by magic or harmful actions on the part of the voodooist, it may be necessary to symbolically remove and reset the head. The character of the woman aspected by this card shows the traits of individuality: keen observation, subtlety, and accuracy of perception. She is graceful and loves dancing and any physical activity that involves balancing. Physically, this woman is likely to have grayish hair and light brown eyes. So this is the energy to embody during my current blood cycle. This is the energy I am to embody. This is the energy we are to embody. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. This is telling me a lot that trusting ourselves, snake on the head, trusting ourselves. Red, I trust myself. I am trusting myself. And I'm cutting off the bullshit. I am cutting through the illusions. I can see them as illusions, and we can see the illusion and we separate ourselves from it. We remove the illusion from our world. We remove the illusion from our world. It's pretty fucking good. And with this total lunar eclipse, oh, I guess I'll say the thing. Yeah, so whenever you see this, even if this is not at this time, whenever you see this, this is the energy. This is the energy we're moving forward with. Even if you've never done anything like this, a period tarot reading, yeah, this is the cycle. This is the blood cycle. Until you have your next blood, this is the blood cycle energy. We are the mambo of air, the watery part of air. The character of the woman aspected by this card shows the traits of individuality, keen observation, subtlety, and accuracy of perception. She is graceful and loves dancing and any physical activity that involves balancing. Yep, because my ass needs to do more physical activity every single day. My soul needs it. I know it's going to help me physically, my body, and all those good things, but like my energetic blueprint needs it. Oh, there's a kitty. My energetic blueprint needs it. And I love to dance. Like I do. I have roller skates I have roller skates. I should roller skate too. But anyway, this will help us. What will hinder us is the mambo, petrol, upside down in reverse. So as we read this, we need to remind ourselves this is actually the energy that will assist us. Shrinking this energy will hurt us, will hinder us. Shrinking this energy will hinder us. So let's read about the energy we do not need to shrink. Petrol, fire, mambo. The mambo of fire is the watery part of fire. Water controls fire, and this mambo has authority over the fire element. She is united with fire and thus has the powers that come from knowing its secrets. Simbi la femme bleu may well have Simbi la flambeau may well have helped to shape such a person. The card shows a mambo uniting with the fiery red snake. The snake has risen from the blood-red molten river that flows by their side. Fire flashes between the head of the mambo and the serpent as they exchange a breath of flame in their mutual ecstasy. The pleasure of the mambo in receiving the secrets of fire is matched by the joy of the serpent in imparting them. The individual described by this card exhibits authority, a magnetic kind of attraction. She is generous in friendship and love, where she is apt to take the lead. Physically, this woman may have red or gold or reddish black hair and blue or brown eyes. This energy shall not be shrunken during this blood moon cycle. This energy shall not be shrunken. The individual described by this card exhibits authority, a magnetic kind of attraction. She is generous in friendship and love, where she is apt to take lead. And I love this part where the serpent and the mambo are in an inter-exchange, interdependence. And it's escastic. An escastic interdependence. This energy, shrinking this energy will hinder me. Let's not shrink it. Let us not shrink this energy that will hinder us. Do not shrink this energy. Houses. I'm going to read the main for what houses is, because there are different elements of expression for houses. Just like with mambo, there was the air rada mambo, there's the petro fire mambo, there is a Congo mambo. Okay, so here is the Congo houses. Let's see what the houses is. Houses, calabash, princess, discs. White skirts swirl in greetings to the spirits. Voices are lifted in song to ease their coming. The houses are the chorus, the dancers, and the suppliers of the temple. Houses means spirit wife and refers to the deep relationship these members of the congregation enter into with the Loa. The work of the houses solidifies the sacred elemental dance of the temple, or Hanfor. They act as the element of earth. If the Hungan, Mambo, or Laplace can carry out spiritual work of a higher order, it is only because they stand on the shoulders of or are supported by the houses. Without their diligence, without their attention to numerous physical requirements of ritual, the temple could not function. Treated as spiritual children of the Hungan or Mambo, the houses are likened to, in a popular phrase, leaves upon a tree. There is within this scheme a reciprocity that channels the flow of obligation and benefit both up and down the temple hierarchy. The instrument of the houses is the calabash in its many forms. A calabash is a dry, hollow gourd that can be used as a container or a receptacle. The calabash has numerous sacred functions. The star, number 17, is likened to a calabash that carries our destinies through time and space. Ifa, the great oracle of the Yoruba, uses figures called Odu to advise and counsel the questioner. The connotation of Odu is big calabash. This comes from Gleason, 1973, page 11. The asan, a gourd rattle covered with beads and snake vertebrae, is a high religious instrument and sign of rank for the Hungan or Mambo in parts of Haiti. The human body is very much like a calabash in that it has the distinction of being filled with various spirits at various times. In the cards, the 4 houses are pictured with 4 hollow containers, which are extensions of the calabash. So, this card is the card that shows me where I have a blind spot to something that I have a blind spot to what's assisting me. So this is something I need to be aware of. I have a blind spot to this assistance. So this is in reverse. So the energy we're about to read needs to be reduced, possibly eliminated. I think that's a personal thing to devise, whether it should be eliminated or reduced. So, this Hansa shows the earthy part of water. She demonstrates through She demonstrates the most gracious, kindest qualities attributed to Urzuli. She walks through a world filled with beauty. Flowers open and mouths close at her approach. Urzuli Frida may well work with this type of person. This card shows a woman providing a spirit with entrance to the safe abode of the Govi. A Govi is an earthen vessel used to house Loa or the spirits of the dead. The waters swirl and rush into the mouth of the Govi, which the woman has opened. A spirit, perhaps that of her now dead husband or love, looks out from the entrance of the Govi. Their romance can now continue, though on a different plane. The character of the person identified with this card is dreamy and sweet. She is a great romantic. Physically, she is a young woman with brown or black hair and blue or brown eyes. This is this is tickling me. Okay, who of us are lover girls, lover people? Who of us have hope that our divine counterpart, our spiritual partner, our love of a lifetime, our love of a lifetime. Ashe Shaka, what's up, girl? We've got the love of a... Okay, so this energy of dreamy and being romantic should be shrunking a little bit. And I understand this in my context because I am a lover girl. And I can get distracted by my own mind and thinking about the person that I care about a lot, the person that I love. I can be very distracted by that and the action of that, to the way that I'm not taking care of myself. And that's part of the work, the change that I've been doing, because I've been working on this for a very long time. And I've gotten over a hump recently. And this is after maybe a decade of being aware that, oh shit, there's some things that I've been doing that have not been beneficial. And then after kind of doing them again for a while, you eventually, get over the hump if you continue to do the work. So this is part of my work. Talking to my womb during every blood cycle. What do I need to focus on that's going to help me and my soul's purpose? So I need to reduce. This is something that will help me reduce my focus on the energy of the man that I love. I actually said that out loud. Am I going to share that part? Yes, because this is part of, yes. Anyway, red got stuff. Anyway. Oh my goodness. But the funny thing is, at the same time, I need to not reduce my sensual interdependence. So this is very physical and this is very non-physical. So we need to focus on what's here and not what is not here. Because that romanticism of this card is he ain't here no more. This is bye-bye. This is, he's in another plane. He could be dead. There could be, I may have said that pretty harsh, but he could have passed. He could have not be here. Some of us with this message may be widows, may have lost their boyfriend or their girlfriend. And my heart goes out to you. I'm having a little bit of more sensitivity because it's not just about me. This is about us. And some of us have people that we love that are not in relation with us in this They're in another state. They're in another city. They're in the same city, not talking to us. They blocked us on the internet. There might be spaces in that space. But even in that space, there might be some that are, considering spinning the block. And a lot of consideration is going into that consideration of what could be. But maybe we shouldn't be thinking about that. Even though it's very positive, because of romanticism, that is a very high hope. That is a high, this could be good. This could, even if the physical is not showing what the love is there, right? But this is not, focusing in this space is not going to benefit us. What will benefit us is the acknowledgement. I'm going to acknowledge that my lover boy is not with me right now. I'm not gonna be focusing on that, or even the hope that he's gonna come back. I'm not gonna focus on that. I'm not gonna focus on all that of the non-physical. I'm gonna focus on the passion that is with me now. And in my own personal life, the passion that is with me now is my creative space, is my family. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. We're not alone. Even though sometimes we're not alone. We're not alone. And I think maybe this is a part of the manifestation. Because we've cared for the space that exists between our loved ones, even though they might not be here. Next to me in this car, they may not be here. They may not call me. They may not but we still have a communication. This is different, because even my mom, she's the one that died. She speaks to me. I have that communication and connection with her. I have spiritual, wonderful ways that the person that I love lets me know that they're thinking of me. And then there's ways where I found out that I was right. They are thinking of me. So having that faith open up between us, that we actually are connected, even though we're nowhere near each other and physically, but we're so near each other. And that moves into the joy of those messages, of those things that let me know that I am not alone in this physical world. This is so weird. I don't know if anybody will ever understand anything that I'll say, but I'm sharing anyway. And then here I am moving forward. We're moving forward, cutting through the illusions. Because what's real is hot and fiery and sexy and woohoo! And let's get it. We don't have to. I think a lot of this could be a bit of the fantasy. There's another card that's a little bit more fantasy. I think we're moving into the physical. I've done the care, because the Huntress cares for the temple. She's necessary. This was necessary, but it's time for this to be necessary. This energy, these energies to be necessary. The non-shrinking of this and the go forward with this. That's what I got. All right, y'all. I have other decks that I use. This is the deck I'm using now. I've been using this deck since my 20s. A very long time. This is my second version of this deck. I had to, this is another story. Anyway. Red. I'm red, and this is blood and bloom. I'm red, and this is blood and bloom. I do period readings. And I'm Sharing it for the first time now. This is my personal period reading, and I'm sharing it because I know I'm not alone in this world. And maybe we're going through some similar things, ladies. Bleeding peeps. Maybe we're going through some of the same things. Stepping forward into new mindsets that is so sacrally activating. To be honest, part of my wake-up call was when I realized I was literally pretty numb in my womb, in my vagina, in my hips, in my ass. From my breast, like starting underneath my boobs, down to like my mid-thigh, I'd be numb. And I had to start learning to feel there again. That was part of my first works this was probably 2017 when I started wanting to feel my whole body again and realizing that I was numb in a lot of places. And moving forward and learning some things, I had some beautiful teachers I'll talk about in the future, and some teachers that were not the best, but I learned a lot from them, but I would never work with them ever again. That's a whole other thing. But I take the fruit. Love you. I take the fruit. The root is there, but the fruit is what gives me the nourishment. So I take the fruits of my life and try not to dwell so much on some of the roots that may have been broken in the process. This is a really great reading for me. This is good because I'm challenging myself. I'm going to be sharing this with others because I really, really feel like this is helpful. Who knows better? The divine and my divine me to help me move forward in this world, to help me on the goals that my soul has been speaking to me about. Even the things that I don't even know I'm walking into that is going to benefit my life. And I cannot have other people's ears in my shit. And I even listen to tarot on YouTube. I love Salt. I love Jadana. I love Natija. Those are people that I love. Magnetize Yourself. These are some ladies that I listen to. I haven't really listened to a lot of guys. And I try not to have a whole spread of people that I listen to. Because it's, and I've gotten really, really good at the discernment of, oh no, this message ain't for me. Type of thing. So if this message ain't for you, I'm okay with that. Check back another time. Maybe the next message will be for you. But I think this method is definitely something that could be for you. I think the art of communing with our divine and our divine selves, with our God and our divine selves, it is an art, and it's a necessary art. Art is necessary. That's an expression. So how I express my relationship with the divine and my divine self is an art form, and it's necessary. And I'm so grateful for oracles, for tools, for meditation, for being able to talk to people that are like minds and souls, even if they're all over the place. Thank you, Internet. Thank you, YouTubes, Googles. Thank you for this technology. Thank you for the people, all the humans that help create this technology. Thank you. Because it's helped me so much. And I'm really grateful that this can also help others. Okay. Peace, love, and all the above.